If you sell on Etsy and you are not paying attention to the teacher niche right now, you are about to miss the biggest teacher sales season of the entire year. And I don't mean just Teacher Appreciation Week. I mean the entire stretch from appreciation to end of year gifts, to graduation, to last day of school, to first year teacher prep, to back to school. This isn't just one moment or one event, it's an entire wave of events. And if you position yourself correctly right now, you don't just catch one spike, you can actually ride the entire stretch. And that's why March matters. If you're watching this video when it comes out, it's late March, now is the time. March and April are the runway. We're still able to position our products. This is where the momentum gets started, and most sellers, they waste it. In this video, we're going to go over 4 huge mistakes that sellers make when they are trying to make meaningful progress or just start to get into the teacher niche so that you don't make any of those mistakes. I like to do a teacher niche video right around this time of year because this is such an exciting time of year. It's where this niche really shines. And when you're thinking about rounding your shop out so that you're working within niches that spike at different times of year so that your shop is kind of always on this momentum swing up and you've always got something to sell in that next season. Summer, there's a summer slump. A lot of people report feeling like their sales really decline during the summer. This is definitely one of those niches that if you have made meaningful progress here and you do have traction, you will actually make really great sales through the summer because that is where this niche shines. So let's jump in. Mistake number 1 is simply listing too late. If you're listing in May for the last day of school, you're already too late. Etsy rewards momentum and you've given yourself no time to grab that momentum. Etsy rewards listings that have been live, collecting data, which would be in the form of getting clicked into, adding to cart, getting favorite, perhaps getting purchased, having reviews left on it. These things really start to build. And when you have engagement on a listing or within a niche in your shop, it becomes much easier to be seen in that niche. I like to make sure that I'm working on listings 45, 60, 90 days prior to that event or that when searches are going to be spiking on Etsy. I want to be making sure that I'm feeding those places that early on. The bigger the moneymaker, the earlier I might start. This is for a couple of reasons. Like I mentioned, we need time for Etsy to start getting it seen, to start showing it in search results to people, the listings that we're putting out so that those listings can start getting interacted with. Hopefully we'll start getting at least a couple of those shots that we've tried, having them get interacted with. And then on top of that, we take that data that's coming back to us through Etsy when we look at how many visits our listings have gotten in the last 30 days and how many favorites that they've gotten. And we can use that to make new decisions and we can add more great designs to our shop still within the time frame that we need to so that they can start being tested out also and we can start receiving more data from that. We start stacking these smarter decisions into our design decisions as we get this data back to us. So essentially if you're listing 90 days, let's say we've got the end of school stuff coming up and you start 90 days prior to that, you're really giving yourself a nice runway for time to get a batch of listings done now and then maybe another batch next week and maybe another batch in another couple of weeks. And this way you wind up with a really nice showing of items in your shop for this event when by the time those searches are spiking, hopefully we've gotten some traction with some of our listings in the form of views and getting clicked in and getting favorites so that we have a chance to really get caught in the algorithm and start making those sales. So mistake number 1 is just listing too late. Mistake number 2 is staying too broad. I think people do this because 1, they don't realize how many different directions they could be taking within the teacher niche. And then 2, I guess people just think, oh, I'll make a teacher shirt. And they're thinking that means that they're in the teacher niche. That's kind of the last thing we should be thinking about making, a shirt that just says teacher on it. I would say that's around 20% of my stabs. And certainly I'm trying to bring in like a new trend and make sure that it's something that really stands out in some way. And I've usually added personalization with the teacher's name when I do that. So 20% of my stabs might just be teacher with perhaps the teacher's name on it. But if you stay there, especially as a new shop, you're not going to stand out. You are going to blend in. Teacher is not really a niche, okay? It's this huge umbrella, and to stay with just teacher is staying so broad. It's kind of like you're trying to, perhaps it's a little like deciding you want to be a basketball player, but instead of joining the neighborhood team or the school team, you go right to the NFL and you're trying to get yourself a spot on the NFL, right? So teacher is this really broad spot, and yes, a teacher shirt, a broad, just what that says teacher on it, can outsell some of like all these smaller niches because there's so many customers there. And as a matter of fact, I think that's what trips people up. They go and they do research on Etsy and they pull up the best sellers and they start seeing, well, all these people are making teacher. It just says teacher, and there's lots of designs that just say teacher. So I'm just going to do that too. But what they don't realize is how hard those shops have most likely worked in the smaller niches that have been the stepping stones up to being able to rank for just teacher shirts. And they can outsell that general design, can outsell those more specific spots because it's such a wider base of customers. But if that's where you start, then you just try to get a position on the NFL team rather than starting with your high school team with basketball, right? So some of the ways that I've been able to stand out in the teacher niche is by sub-niching down. I'm going to give you some ideas on that. And holidays can also be included in the sub niches. So one of the very first ways I stood out was making Easter teacher shirts, which, by the way, pencil this in, on a note somewhere for yourself. Easter teacher shirt is, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, Easter teacher shirt and Thanksgiving teacher shirt are both highly searched but have lower competition. Now, I didn't know that when I was first building this niche out in my shop that first year, but I did listen to enough content from the YouTubers that I was listening to that I did understand the concept that I didn't want to stay too big for my britches. I couldn't just do this with just teacher shirts. I needed to hit all of the things, all of these not all of them. You won't be able to hit all of them, but lots of little sub niches within the teacher niche. I also understood that Etsy worked on momentum, and that means within niches as well. So you might need to go through a couple of different teacher events throughout the calendar and design for them throughout the teacher calendar so that you are, having a chance to build on past momentum. It took me several months. So I didn't really make any sales until that. I'd been designing for 4 or 5 months. Didn't really start making regular sales until I hit it good with an Easter teacher shirt, which just means I think I sold like 22 or 23 of them. But then I was able to make more sales with the next thing. So what I mean by that would be like 100th day of school is in January, amongst other things. But just to give you an idea of how these things can build. 100th day of school in January, Valentine's Day, Black History Month in February, Reading Month and St. Patrick's Day in March, Easter in March or April, depending when it's falling. So some of these are obvious, right? You've got the holiday, and then some you might not have known, that their Reading Month was huge at school or that there was a 100th day of school. I'm mentioning just a little handful of these little pockets of places where you can design, and you can kind of use that as stacking your momentum. Maybe in one of these you just get visits, and then you learn from what you're doing there, and perhaps by a month or two later you're starting to get sales, and then the following month you're getting more sales in this niche. Aside from these events throughout the year, and there's tons of them, there is also the different school or staff or type of teacher positions that you can think about. You can tackle specific grade levels, pre-K, 3rd grade, 5th grade. You can attack specific subjects. You could do it thinking of the elementary school teacher who's wearing a funny math shirt because that's one of the subjects she teaches during the day and the type of topic that she might be teaching. Or you can target a math teacher at a high school, and you can make funny or math themed types of shirts for that person teaching algebra or pre-calculus. Something else that just popped into my mind while we're talking about math, we have Pi Day, which also happens in March, and both elementary school teachers and high school teachers get a kick out of celebrating Pi Day with their students and buy shirts to do that. On top of the endless grade levels and subjects that we could choose to take stabs in, we've also got life moments, the pregnant teacher, the engaged teacher, the retiring teacher, the first year teacher, the teacher that's graduating with her degree to go become a teacher. And then we've got the endless number of other positions that you would have at a school, from the librarian and the PE teacher and the music teacher to the paraprofessionals, the secretarial staff in the front, the variety of therapists that work at a school, the administrator teachers, the cafeteria workers, the custodial staff. There are just so many opportunities at the school, and it's not just teacher, but you can use these other places to kind of get into that world of the teacher niche. Like I said, I might do 20% of my stabs just with the word teacher, usually going to add a name to that. So I'm personalizing it with their name. And I've done a lot of my trend research that would come behind that to make sure that I'm making something that is new and valuable to the market by infusing a new trend. But then I can also go, the 80% of those designs are going to be targeting these specific types of teachers. And you can't do it all. There's just so many of them. That would be impossible. I've just chosen a couple handfuls of places to purposefully and intentionally continue building out in my shop. They say the riches are in the niches. I couldn't agree more. When you go deep, competition drops. When you stay really broad, competition is exploding there, and that's where it can feel impossible to break in. Mistake number 3 is simply not building momentum. I know this happens all too often. We don't think about all of those little places that I've mentioned. I've literally mentioned one handful of places that you could be focusing on in the teacher niche. It's just such a department of amazing niches that you can work within. But so many people skip understanding that, and they think that, well, I'm just going to build the teacher niche out for back to school. I hear back to school makes great sales. Maybe they do just back to school. Maybe they even do last day of school and back to school. And while this is the biggest opportunity within the teacher niche, amazing sales, you're kind of coming in cold if that's when you started. And if you're expecting to do amazing, you're kind of coming in cold if that's where you're starting. If this is the time you're hearing this and you're like, oh, geez, I really want to get started. And yeah, I think that's great. This is definitely one of the most exciting times to get into the teacher niche. But I wouldn't expect to have some stellar, experience this year if this is my first stab. Hopefully I can keep making more sales each month than I did the month before. That's, the point of our, that was always a focus of mine as I was in that preliminary time before I started to scale, simply to get a couple more sales each month than I did the month before. And I was brainstorming, how can I do that? How can I do that? But I think one of the ways that I was really able to do that is because I made pennies per hour for months, for 7 or 8 months, but I was trudging away in a couple of places, one of those places being the teacher niche. And so I hit all of these little places that I shared with you, and then times so many more. As we come up to Easter, I did well there, and then I did just a bit better in the next niche coming up. And then I did even better for last day of school. There's like a couple of niches in there where I was able to jump up to like, oh, I got 40 sales in this little niche that's specific to that time of year. Some of these niches, by the way, look evergreen, but they are very specific to something that a teacher is looking for at a specific time of year, like inspirational quotes / teacher testing. An inspirational quote can look evergreen, and to a certain degree is, but that's definitely something that sells best as teachers are testing her students toward the end of the year. That is one of those niches that I went from Easter, teacher testing, to a little better there. Then I got to last day of school and did different stabs there. And I don't mean I did all last day of school shirts. I mentioned all of these, literally just a handful of places where you could niche down. Like I said, paraprofessionals or administrators or cafeteria staff. And so I was trying different things, not just stuff that said teacher on it and not just stuff that said last day of school on it. I was trying different things from all of these angles with these niche places for these very specific individuals that work at a school and were looking to wear a funny thing the last week of school or the last day of school. And I did even better there. And finally in June, that's when I started to get to make no longer pennies per hour, but I started to get $1,000 plus a month. 90% of it was due to what was happening in the teacher niche. Had I started listing in the teacher niche in May, this would not have happened. I probably would have had to wait till the following year to have this kind of success. But you got to get started at some point and just start putting that elbow grease in there. And then when it was back to school, I made really good money. So in June, it was $1,000 profit. In July, $2,500 profit. And then in August, $4,500 profit. You better believe I was dancing down the hallway at school. Couldn't wait to tell all my teacher friends that they had to start Etsy shops and how to get into the teacher niche, because why wouldn't they want to do that, right? And if you're thinking, well, everyone's listening to this video and so now it's going to be oversaturated. It's not, because it does take a couple of months to get in there. And so most people are just not going to stick with it. They put a couple designs up and those couple of first designs don't do well, and then that's the end of it. Or they try one season, they go all in one season of teacher, and then that's it. They didn't have the results they wanted for the amount of work they did for that one season, and so they don't keep stacking that progress up over the course of the year. And I think that that has really been a crucial part of my being able to accomplish what I've accomplished. So right now, you are in this beautiful place that you can get started with all of these things that are going to stack on each other and are going to become a powerful runway to success over there by the time we get to the first day of school. A reminder of that runway, whether you're in giftable items or you're in t-shirts, which can also a giftable item, but it also kind of goes into like matching shirts, which is a really great place to be for teacher stuff. That runway right now, we've got Teacher Appreciation Week coming up the first week in May. We've got graduation time coming up, whether it's the shirt the teacher is wearing to her fifth grader's graduation, or she is a senior teacher, you know, she's in high school and she works with seniors, or she's a pre-K or kindergarten teacher. You've also got gifting or a shirt that a new future teacher that just graduated with her teaching degree might want. That's a possibility to work in that place as well. We've got last day of school coming up from all of the different kind of angles that we mentioned. Then we've got first day of school or back to school. First day of school designs can work well, but so can grade level or just subject level or just subjects, grade level, or department type shirts like the reading department, the math department. These kinds of shirts can sell really well as group sales. They're kind of evergreen because they can sell any time of year, but they explode as we're going back to school, and that's the time to really be focused on those kind of designs. And mistake number 4, not understanding the teacher calendar. And this one is a massively expensive mistake to make. If you're focused hard on reading shirts back in September, you're going to be pretty frustrated in comparison on, focusing on them as we're coming up to reading month in March. If you're focused on grade level types of designs for the grade to wear together, or like designs that say third grade or fourth grade on them, and you're focused on that in January, you're going to be pretty frustrated in comparison to if you had started that in your prep for back to school. If you're working on inspirational shirts in July, then you're going to be pretty frustrated that those aren't selling as well as you had hoped for the amount of effort that you might be putting into it as we're gearing up for testing time at a school. So which sub niches are, heating up next? And if you don't know which directions are most saturated and which places are underserved or less saturated so that you can make a concerted effort to hit those, you're really spending a lot of time designing while being kind of in the dark and guessing. I think the sellers who win in teacher niche understand the teacher calendar. They understand the timing, they understand the sequencing, and they move early. So this is precisely why I built my classroom to cart teacher calendar and resource. It is the exact roadmap that I have followed, and it is, well, I was going to say the exact roadmap, but it is a better, much better roadmap than the roadmap that I followed because it was through a lot of testing and trial and error. And then as I learned how to use things like eRank and trend research, historical trend researching, it just became that much better. So you've got a much better resource than I ever had trying to break into the teacher niche. And I was still able to break in. So can you. If you do decide to pick it up, it's got over 150 teacher sub niches within it. It's got pretty much every school staff position you could think of that you could target. It's got launch timing mapped out for you. It is 100% built for momentum and to help you make meaningful progress in this niche. It will help you layer or stack niches effectively. And it's something I'm really, really proud of that I created. There are even pockets of extra opportunity built in. I've spent hours researching lower competition, high demand places in the teacher niche, and I've included those too. And there are plenty of them in every single quarter of the year. This isn't just ideas. It is a structure. It is a strategy, and it will help you position your products and time them properly. And while you're down there, if you want to check that out, you can also download yourself completely for free my Untapped 30 products list. There are 30 product angles that most sellers are not taking advantage of, and several of them work beautifully inside the teacher niche. You can grab that below. No no cost. Just grab it and take some action on it. And if you found this video helpful or at least one insight that you enjoyed, then boop the like button. That helps my efforts be rewarded here on YouTube and helps my little channel get found, and other sellers like yourself get to see a video like this that might be helpful. Now, if you enjoyed getting a taste of all of these different angles you could take in the teacher niche, and you like topics like this where you can see how you could sub niche down, gotta see what we're doing over in the mom niche, because you can make meaningful progress in that niche all year round too. Watch that video next. I'll leave it queued up for you, but of course, not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.